So Late Night with the Devil, a new horror film that's just come out. George, 86-minute runtime.
What a cracking little
just love to
tasty.
see it.
I just want to pick it up and eat it.
Done. 86 and done.
Yeah.
The famous saying goes. There's a funny story that just came out, I think yesterday. It was that on Sunday, this film took $666,666 at the box office.
Whoa.
666,666. Late Night with the Devil.
Spooky.
I don't know if that's like marketing, because the chances of that happening really low, but also quite fun, considering the subject matter. Written and directed by Cameron and Colin Cairns, who I assume are brothers, but I didn't research that. 86-minute runtime, which is fantastic. The film is an almost semi-found footage master tape of a live TV show that was broadcast and aired in 1977 on Halloween night, right? So it plays out. It's very, like, imagine this time with Alan Partridge.
Yes.
So you've got the live segments, and we're off, and then you've got the bits in between, meets The Exorcist. That's basically what this
Lynn,
is.
her head's spinning round.
And there is sort of a real air, and I'm not the first person to say this, of lots of people comparing it to Alan Partridge.
Yeah.
Like the character Jack Delroy is a little bit of a fumbling buffoon, just desperately trying to cling on to some sort of structure of the show. But super Alan Partridge, and then you obviously add like the horror concept of The Exorcist is in there. So Jack Delroy is played by David Dastmalchian. He's the most vampiric-looking actor ever. He's not a vampire in this.
I would say I'm glad he's getting a lead role, because he's always character actor in lots of stuff.
Wonderfully creepy in lots of different things. And yeah, do you know what I mean? He's vampire ready.
Yeah, he is.
Like minimal makeup.
Why is he not like a Dracula?
Like a Dracula. Nosferatu even. He's just ready to be a vampire. He's not a vampire.
Yeah, no offense, David.
No offense, David. You got a wonderfully like sort of pale but dark hair. And anyway.
Him and Rami Malek could be like vampire brothers.
Oh, that'd be great. A little team up vampire movie. Both of them just being so awkward and weird in a haunted house in Transylvania. Someone do that. He plays Jack Delroy, who is a late night TV show host who is desperate to revive his career with a spooky Halloween special. It is Sweeps Week in America, which is a phrase I've heard many times, but didn't really know what it means. So it's like
Bruce Almighty. That's all I know.
Yeah, Sweeps Week.
Not during Sweeps
It's basically
Week.
like the end of the TV year, and all of the commissioners are going to decide who gets basically the next allocation of advertising and shows. So everyone tends to go all out for this week, and they book the biggest things they can to boost their numbers to be in the best position for the following year. That's kind of why I understand it. And it starts basically, before we get into this sort of master tape of what the film plays out as, we start with this almost like a 10-15 minute profile on Jack Delroy and his TV career, his rise to fame, having previously enjoyed success, but he was never ever able to overtake Johnny Carson, who in the 1970s was the king of late night, and no one could ever beat him. It also covers him losing his wife to cancer, him taking a break from TV, and also him returning, and the effect that had from him, and the fact that his show sort of consistently has struggled to keep an audience. And his show is called Night Owls with Jack Delroy. And so for this Halloween special, he's got one of those, I've forgotten the name of it, but it's like a vertical wire that makes that theremin. He's got one of those sounds, and you know his big band and his comedian is playing with this. And of course, obviously, that ends up being, you have to basically put a hand near it to make it make sound, and obviously that's gonna kick off later in the show. And so on his show today, he has invited a parapsychologist who has done a case study on a young teen who is the sole survivor of a satanic church's mass suicide. Wow. They were fans of the occult and were contacting the dead, and this teenage girl, obviously horror movie, claims to have a demon inside her, and they are coming on the show. Also, you have a man called the Wonderful Christu, who claims he can speak to the dead, and he does that classic, I'm getting the name, Kristen, Chris, yes, you had a brother once who died, like that very sort of classic leading the audience onto a thing. He claims he can speak to the dead and has mixed results, and he is also joined by a sort of Darren Brown-esque illusionist who has committed his career to debunking anything to do with the paranormal, anything to do with contacting the dead. He has a real sort of thespian's voice where he's like, Jack, this is clearly a fraud, a fabrication. This man is no more of a liar than the blah, blah, blah. And he sort of very like proves that he could do all the same tricks that this guy can. It's all fake, blah, blah, blah. So you've got these three guests on the show all battling for attention, all with their own segment, and things, as the show gets on, it evolves and it builds. Yeah. Things get spookier and spookier. Even members of the crew start saying, I don't want to be here anymore. This is getting weird. We should stop. Body parts, guts, things, all sorts of stuff goes wrong. But there's this incentive to keep the show going. It's a live TV show, so we can't break it. We need this for Sweeps Week. He's got his slimy producer in the background being like, this is going to be great.
Is there any other kind?
Is there any other kind? Like just cigarettes and this, and Jack, you got to make this happen, ham it up, blah, blah, blah. So it's this incentive to keep it going. And there's a couple of good moments of humor where, like, the camera closes in on Jack Delroy. It's halfway through the show, and he goes, well, ladies and gentlemen, what we have seen tonight has been nothing short of phenomenal. It seems as though tonight we are going to make contact with the very devil himself. But not before a brief word from our sponsors. Yeah. It's like, please enjoy these.
You sounded like Tom Cruise there.
I did a bit. Not a bit, there'll be more chance.
Richard, you've never seen me very upset.
So a good friend of mine saw this at early at a film festival, and she said she loved it. She said, definitely go and see it in the cinema. So I did. Out of the gate, the recreation of the 70s TV show, the whole production design of it, the way in which the studio cameras have this wonderful dewy, soft glow, the fringing, brilliant. The cinematography, wonderfully designed. Everything slightly off. That wonderful sense that things that are old are a bit creepier. Yes. Dusty set, dark. The sort of the flats, the facades, things going on behind them. Really great sense of creepiness, and the opening introduction to Jack Delroy is like suitably creepy and black and white. And one of the best things about it is that within 84 minutes, it builds and builds and builds, gets more unsettling, more creepy. Things are going wrong. They don't want to stop. I like how, as a horror film, it feels really artistic, feels really intentionally designed. It's concise, doesn't overstay its welcome, doesn't overcomplicate itself. That being said, it is very simple. I maybe wanted in its third act another. You stuck the knife in, and I'd love you to have twisted it. But then I feel like a bit of a hypocrite for saying the other horror films I'm disliking are too complicated and trying to overthink this thing. We'll have like a boss fight at the end. So I like that this sort of didn't try to overdo itself. Yeah. So I am going to sort of bounce in between what it does. Structurally, it's interesting because I admire that it commits to this sort of semi-found footage one-room setting, and that the whole film after this intro takes place in this room, and it's a recording being played out to you. But once I saw the opening profile about Jack Delroy, I did basically predict everything that would happen in the film following it. I think because it has to play out like one long master tape, it almost became that introduction was needed, and therefore I think gave away too much for what happened at the end. Doesn't take away from the fact that it's got some very good scares, and watching it play out was fun, but I wonder if there was something to gain from losing the sort of found footage master tape structure, and if you could have sort of surprised me a little bit more. That being said, there's a couple of great scares in it. I think the final act was good, but I think you could have just gone a little bit further to make a really good impact. But I think I've wanted to find more horror that feels like really intricately designed and concise, and I'm glad that Late Night with the Devil is that, and I think it's very good. I think you should go and see it.
When you said about the structure, the concession to not having that bit at the beginning about the footage, do you wish they just had the entire thing committed to the conceit and just had from beginning to end the master tape?
But then you might have to do lots of clunky exposition, like shoved into something that's meant to be like organic conversation. So yes and no.
Okay.
But but that being said, within 86 minutes, I'm not going to complain as much, and if you'd taken 2 hours 15, because it just achieves to do a couple of great scares in a very short amount of time, and you leave the audience, you're like, that was creepy, I had a good time.
Yeah. Good horror films and good comedies should be tight. Yeah. So if I see 86 minutes, if it's a tight 86, that's fine.
Yeah, and it's just going to this is just the master tape of like a lost show that was aired in the 70s, spooky. I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's good fun. It's suitably creepy. It's not perfect. It is a bit predictable. There's a lot that other people have said about this film that I think spoils it, and I've been very light on sort of the premise, because I think there's more. Well, I think you'll mostly guess what everything happens within the first 15 minutes, but I would still let you guys as an audience find that out for yourselves when you see it.
Sometimes a film will unfurl, and it'll be like, and you'll be like, well, I've seen a movie before, so I can already anticipate what's going to happen. I'm like,
have to lay the track for things to happen later. Yeah.
This might be interesting to people who have never watched a film, but like most people have. Okay, interesting. That was Late Night with the Devil. If you've seen that, let us know your thoughts at hello@pulpkitchenpodcast.com. Did you agree with James? Did you disagree? Let us know.
And David S. Malshin's good in it too. He's sort of like nicely awkward and charismatic in a way that feels quite forceful. Like, when you've seen late night hosts sort of really try and drag an interview and get the best out of it, and you can see they're just hoping but laughing. There's a nice sort of awkwardness to him there. He's quite well cast, I think.